So here, Lum, what is Vertical World about?
Vertical World kind of starts off a little bit like Castle in the Sky because a girl falls from the sky and a guy dives in after her. As they continue to fall down in this endless tower, he eventually meets a robot scientist called Kelvin, who's also been kind of studying this vertical world for a long time. He's been following down this vertical world for 500 years. Eventually, they catch up to the girl using their jetpacks, and they find out her name is Omega, and she is meant to be the fallen priestess. She was basically sacrificed, perhaps thousands of years ago, to the tower for some unknown purpose, like supposedly, to bring prosperity to like her people or whatnot. But there seems to be a deeper conspiracy behind this as we continue to read on the series, and we get the revelation that people are not supposed to come into contact with this girl. Like, there's some reason why she must continue to fall, it seems. Because there are guards on the outside of this vertical tower that have been instructed to kill anyone who comes in contact with her. So the outside of this tower, we basically find that it's floating in the air pretty much. And there are these giant eyeball creatures that are on the outside of the tower. And basically they get separated from Omega, and so they're now continuing to chase after and catch up to her. They kind of find the secret of what this tower is, what lies at the bottom, like who made this, what was it made for, and why are they there even. So it's a very interesting premise, and that's, like, again, really, really compelling, and kind of really keeps driving you to discover, like, what's the full truth behind these mysteries, and, like, continue reading. I really love the format of the series. True to its name, it's a manga that's meant to be read vertically. It's very much meant to be read as you scroll down through it. The story is very much, you don't flip pages left to right, you scroll down from top to bottom, and that's how the story is told, and that's just perfect considering this premise. It is definitely a manga made with how people read manga on their cell phones in mind, and a format that can really, really best be enjoyed by reading manga on your phones is like if you just scroll down top to bottom, and this is a story that's just perfect in this format. And there are other manga on Manga Plus that also follow this kind of format, like Dreecam, where you read it top to bottom. But this is, like, I think, the perfect marriage between premise and storytelling, I think. So it's really, really interesting. And again, the world building of it continues to unfold in an interesting way as they continue to poke questions like, why is this tower here? Who made it? What is it made for? As people continue to question these things, and our main characters continue to gather more allies. So it's really fun, really unique. And there's 43 chapters, well, even 47 chapters out now. Like, they uploaded it just out of the blue very suddenly, very recently to Manga Plus. But I think both of us made it only a couple of chapters in, like 10 or so chapters.
Yeah.
But I think, I think we're both keen to read more. I certainly am.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's just it also has some really nice heartfelt moments, I think, or like really interesting stories that have like a kind of a good, like, emotional ending. Like, the story that I kind of left off on is like this gatekeeper who has been tasked to guard this checkpoint and kill anyone who has come into contact with Omega. He doesn't know why, but those are the rules that he has been taught and that he believes he must uphold. And so he tries to kill the main protagonist. But eventually, they manage to take out his weapon, and then they throw his book of rules away, and they kind of talk to him and convince him that he should, just liberate himself from following these rules blindly and kind of just enjoy life finally. And, upon doing that, like, he finally gets to be reunited with a dove again, which he was denied as a kid because it was against the rules, and it kind of has a happy ending for him. So I like that kind of storytelling. There's these small stories within the story that make it very compelling. It adds to the world and also adds some heart to it. So yeah, I'm really enjoying it, and it's a really cool new addition, I think, to Manga Plus.
Oh, geez. This might be huge praise, but I gotta be honest, there really hasn't been a series since Act Age where I started it, and I'm just like, I need more of this. But man, yeah, like, except in this case, the backlog is all available, and I gotta be honest, after we're done recording today, I'm very tempted to just read through the rest of it today. 'Cause man, I'm really enjoying this. It's really hard for me to like express why I like it and not just gush about it. I was really thinking like how best to describe it to people who haven't read it yet. And I think, cause there are so many elements to this series that remind me of a lot of different things. Like, like when I first started this, I was like, yes, the beginning feels very Castle in the Sky, and how that movie started with the girl falling from the sky and the boy catching her, except this boy doesn't catch her, and actively falls after her. But, what was it? The best way I could describe this series is like a combination of Castle in the Sky and Made in the Abyss, drawn by one.
Yeah, the art is definitely a little sketchy at times, and draftsmanship is not necessarily the most polished in terms of anatomy and consistency of the forms of characters. However, it is very clearly drawn, and the storytelling skills, the paneling is very on point, so it's a very compelling read, and the art communicates what it needs to, both emotionally and in terms of understanding what is happening.
Mm-hmm, for sure. Yeah, like, I compare Ku Tanaka to one in that, yeah, like basically this artist, I would put in the category of, yeah, their art is very rough looking, but like, you know, it's still a very readable comic. Like you understand what's going on the page, or I guess on your phone in this instance. But no, yeah, like, it's so hard for me to like, to not keep going with this. Like, I don't know that, like, again, like with East, like, the Vertical World is just this world that, like, I want to know more about. Like, what is this tower, and what's going to be at the bottom of it, if there is a bottom of it? I was almost convinced at one point that there wasn't, considering that Kelvin mentions that, like, he at the beginning when we first met him, like, he was falling for like 500 years or something. And just for reference, I got curious. I looked up, like, how long it would take for you to fall from space to, like, the surface of the Earth. And apparently, I forget exactly, but someone tested this out at one point. And I think, like, altogether, it took about 10 minutes for them to fall from space to the Earth. And then about 4 minutes in, I think they used their parachute to float down. But still, like, apparently it does not take that long to fall to the surface of the Earth. So it's like, with that info in mind, it just makes me wonder, like, what is going on here? Like, why is there so much sky? Like, I won't say too much about this because I think this is a little past where I got like maybe 1 or 2 chapters past where you read, basically. And they do introduce the idea of warping and wormholes. So I'm wondering if, like, maybe that's part of the reason why we haven't really seen the bottom of wherever this is yet. Like, maybe a lot of that kind of thing is maybe in play and we just don't understand how yet. But no, yeah, like, I'm legitimately wondering, like, what this tower is, like how long, like, cause we also get to a point where, like, we kind of get to, like, the end of the tower, I guess, and it's not like finished, but there's still, like, so much sky left that I'm just like, well, what's going on here? Like, is it not finished being built? Like, I have so many questions, and I'm getting the feeling that I'm going to get them answered because this series is really good about, like, again, this really reminds me of The Promised Neverland, where it's like, you know about as much of the world as the characters do, and you're learning along with the characters, and I think that makes series like these so much more enjoyable to read.
Mm-hmm.
But I think, needless to say, this was, like, my favorite out of the 3 new Manga Plus series that were uploaded recently.
I think I would have to agree, even though I really enjoyed the other two series, and especially Torture Princess, I do really find it very charming, enjoyable. Vertical World is definitely the most interesting, compelling of the three. And yeah, I think I will continue to binge the rest of it and see how the story unfolds because I'm definitely really hooked.
Mm-hmm. Like, personally, as far as like series that are exclusive, well, I guess this series isn't really exclusive to Manga Plus anymore, but like, I guess in terms of like whatever new series we have gotten simulpub this year, like I would put this right under Spy Family, personally, just in terms of like how much I enjoy that series.
Yeah. Though I would like to see a Spy Family Torture Princess crossover because I think those two series tonally fit very well together, and I want to see Anya interact with Mao Mao because I think those two would become very good friends.
Or Anya trying to torture the princess.
Oh, that'd be fun too. And then Yoru actually tortures the princess for once, and everyone is horrified.
You could have Twilight trying to like teach Anya how to torture, and she just does it completely wrong. Damn it! Now I really want this crossover.
It's gotta happen.
Oh man. But yeah, no, this was a huge surprise. I did not expect to like this as much as I did. But yeah, like I said, the other, like I like Torture Princess just fine, and then East, unfortunately has the disadvantage of it only having one chapter out at the time of this recording.
Yeah, it also has a very stilted translation, I must say. Like the script of it seems very straight, and I think a lot of personality is kind of lost in the process.
See, that's funny, because I felt the same way about Vertical World's translation at times. Like, it felt very stiff to me, personally, but I could also kind of see that with East, too.
Yeah, I think this is a problem across a couple of Manga Plus series.
Mm-hmm. But, you know, like, in general, I feel okay about it, but, like, I think, in terms of translations from Media Do in particular, like, they could use a bit of improvement, but, you know, for what we're getting, I think it's fine, it's serviceable.